Coming up on Network Africa. It's 100 days to go as South Africa prepares for historic first G20 summit, the first ever on African soil. First set of deportees arrive in Rwanda from the United States. Plus, Sierra Leone ramps up Mpox vaccinations with tens of thousands of jabs as cases rise across West Africa. Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Amarachi Ubani. It's just 100 days now before the historic G20 Leaders Summit in Johannesburg. The first ever on African soil. Preparations are in full swing. South Africa's G20 presidency is approaching its climax with 87 out of 132 G20 meetings across both Sherpa and finance tracks already done. The remaining ministerial meetings in September are expected to set the tone for the Johannesburg Leaders Declaration, anchored on solidarity, equality and sustainability. This agenda-driven framework aims to help set the global economic focus for the summit. Key issues on the table include global inequality and sovereign debt burdens. And to address this, President Cyril Ramaphosa has launched a G20 task force to examine wealth disparities and propose actionable remedies. Staying in South Africa, the International Relations Minister Ronald Lamola has dismissed claims of genocide in the country. He was addressing concerns around the expedited visa process for Kenyan nationals who are expected to assist the U.S. Embassy in Pretoria with refugee settlement applications. According to local reports, the U.S. State Department intends to deploy around 30 Kenyan volunteers for the program.
With regards to the visa application for the Kenyan nationals who have applied to Home Affairs to come and assist with the program that is aimed to fast-track Afrikaners on an immigration program of the U.S. It's an individual application by those individuals, and Home Affairs has processed it in accordance with its laws. And I believe they can be able to communicate as to the situation. As to whether the U.S. government has engaged us on this matter or not, yes, they have, through various interlocutors. And we have maintained that as a South African government, we don't agree that this is a refugee program, because there is no genocide in South Africa. And in line with the UN Convention, the Afrikaners that are going to the US do not fit the definition of refugee.
Well, here in Nigeria, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, is urging stronger global collaboration to tackle what he describes as Africa's fast-evolving security threats. Speaking at the Interpol African Regional Conference in Cape Town, Mr. Egbetokun warns that livestock rustling, once dismissed as a local menace, has now become a major criminal enterprise, fueling terrorism and cross-border crime. While outlining 6 key strategies to adopt to curbing the menace, he linked the scourge to terrorism financing and even chemical and biological threats, stressing the proceeds from livestock theft are being used to fund explosives and other dangerous operations. Mr. Egbetokun also held high-level meetings with Interpol and Brazilian security officials to expand Nigeria's international policing partnerships. Without immediate access to life-saving nutrition services, 4.6 million Nigerians in the Bay states of Borno, Adamawa and Yobe are projected to experience acute food insecurity this year. That's according to the March 2025 CADA harmonized analysis. And in light of the global cuts in humanitarian funding, communities in affected areas are calling for urgent attention. Our correspondent Kelly Giga visited the government secondary school, which serves as an IDP camp in Bama local government area.
It's close of business here in Maiduguri, and we're filming from across Maiduguri roundabout. It's a very popular area here in the metropolis. That's because it connects Kanu. To my left takes you to the very popular GRA. Just on my back takes you to the post office and all of that. So it's a very popular area here in the heart of the city. We have been here for the past 24 hours now, and the city, particularly Maiduguri, is really safe. We observed some sort of pockets of flooding earlier today, and that's because we had to take a chopper to Bama local government area, which is one of the 27 local government areas here in Borno State. We visited one of the popular IDP camps there, which plays host to about 35,000 plus IDPs in that camp. And though the capital is relatively very safe, we cannot say of same for the communities, the rural areas, the hinterlands in Borno State. We understand that some of these communities have been ravaged by the resurgence of Boko Haram terrorists and ISWAP members. And for instance, for the city center, you can see there are stationary police vehicles here, and this is a common sight in some popular areas here in the city center. But earlier today, in our visit to Bama local government area, precisely the GSSS IDP camp, we saw indeed the fact that many Nigerians, in the light of the global cuts, have found themselves in very dire conditions. They lack basic amenities. They basically have to queue for water. They basically have to queue for food. As a matter of fact, some of these persons would have to go through a verification process of about 4 stages just to access food. And we understand that in the light of these global cuts, international partners and donors who have decided to put an end to some of their donations and funding, the conditions in these areas or environments will be indeed even more affected in the coming months. So it's indeed a big challenge and concern for many of these Nigerians who are resident in IDP camps. It's a devastating situation we have here. Very interesting times indeed for these Nigerians who have been displaced, for some of them since as early or way back as 2016, 2017, and they have been left in the camps with nowhere else to call home. From the Cross Maiduguri roundabout here in Maiduguri, Kelly Giga, Channels Television News.
Well, moving on to Sudan, where 30 million people are in need of emergency humanitarian assistance. That's according to the UN's Director of Operations and Advocacy at the Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA, Idem Hosorno. She says the country is suffering an unprecedented hunger crisis with famine conditions affecting thousands of people. During a press briefing, she talked about Chad, a fragile country, supporting 1.4 million refugees, a number of them Sudanese, adding that this influx is overwhelming their national security and their borders.
A country itself fragile, and yet supporting 1.4 million refugees, of which 850 or so thousand are Sudanese. They have Nigerian refugees and others as well. This influx is overwhelming their national security, their borders, but they keep the borders open. 1 in every 3 in eastern Chad, in Wadai, Wadifira, and other Sila provinces are Sudanese. So it's also changing the demographics of the country. And if there's a cholera outbreak in El Fasher, and it doesn't care whether you're in uniform or a civilian, it kills whoever it sees, and that we needed to get in. We've got 70 trucks, WFP, UNICEF, and WHO trucks waiting in in Niala, South Darfur, to get into El Fasher.
And health on the continent. Sierra Leone continues to boost its vaccination and medical treatment outreach efforts amid an ongoing Mpox outbreak in the country. According to the National Public Health Agency, the current status of Mpox in Sierra Leone is better than what was recorded a couple of months ago. Executive Director, Brigadier General Professor Fode Saher, says the numbers are clearly moving in the right direction. 5,000 cases and 47 deaths in total were confirmed in August. As of July, over 133,000 people were reported to have had the first dose of the Mpox vaccination after the national program was rolled out in March. The epidemic of the clade 1B strain began in January. That particular strain caused most cases during the 2022 global outbreak and is spread through close contact. The fatality rate is lower than the clade 1 strain.
So if you compare the status of the Mpox in the country to what we had a couple of months ago, I think the numbers seem to be moving in the right direction. As I speak, of the over 5,000 positive cases that have been diagnosed in the country, we have only about 56 active cases currently in facilities, and all of them are held in our facilities. When we started, just like other countries we are doing, we identify the cases and we manage them at home, and then a team goes to monitor them. But unfortunately, after some time, we noticed that the numbers were not going down. These cases that we actually kept at home were potential sources of spreading the infection. So therefore, we've changed our strategy and made it as a policy that every positive case will try as much as possible to make sure that 95% of cases should be brought into our facilities.
Still ahead on Network Africa. We join a summer STEM residential camp for girls. It's called the She Creates Camp. On our Africa Tech segment, we'll have more on this. Stay with us. Welcome back. Rwanda and Mozambique have deepened their partnership in security, trade and defense as both leaders push for African-led solutions to growing threats like terrorism. During a two-day working visit to Kigali, Mozambican President Daniel Chapo and Rwandan President Paul Kagame signed key cooperation agreements to strengthen peace, security, investment and trade links between the two nations. A highlight of the visit was the Status of Forces Agreement, a formal accord granting Rwandan troops a legal framework to operate in northern Mozambique's Cabo Delgado province. Since mid-2021, around 1,000 Rwandan defense personnel have been deployed to join Mozambican forces in countering an Islamic State-linked insurgency that threatens regional stability. Meanwhile, 7 migrants deported from the U.S. have arrived in Rwanda for the first of the 250 expected to be taken in by the African state under a deal reached with President Donald Trump's administration. Rwandan government spokesperson Yolande Makolo says the first group of 7 vetted migrants arrived in Rwanda in mid-August. However, she gave no details about their nationalities, only explaining that 4 of them would remain in Rwanda, with 3 opting to return to their home countries. Rights groups have warned such deportations could breach international law if people are sent to countries where they risk torture or other abuses. Trump has focused on a sweeping mass deportation scheme to remove undocumented migrants from the U.S. starting his second term in January. So far, at least a dozen nations have agreed to accept deported migrants from other countries. From building remote control cars to getting hands-on experience with exciting electronic projects, as She Creates Camp by W Tech helps young innovators turn their ideas into action. The summer STEM residential camp for girls opens their eyes to future careers in fields like cybersecurity, digital safety, and artificial intelligence.
It's the long vacation, but for these girls, it's more than just holiday fun, but a chance to learn, create, and explore the exciting world of tech. They're spending time at the She Creates Camp, a residential STEM training for secondary school girls organized by W Tech.
Don't put this through like this. Don't put it through like this. Don't put it through like this.
Here, they're not just learning about technology. They're rolling up their sleeves and diving into STEM by building real skills, growing in confidence, and connecting with like-minded peers. From ideas to action, the young innovators are getting hands-on with exciting electronics projects this year, designing an IoT lighting circuit system using Arduino software. With just their phones, they can switch the program bulbs on and off.
We are working on our project, which we named Automated Light. So we use the jumper wires to connect our relay to the ESP8266. Then we use our zinc. We use it to connect it to the plug. Then we plug the plug into the sockets. Then we have done AI. We need to do IoT, which is Internet of Things. That's what made us to use our laptops. We downloaded the app, which is Arduino. Then we connect everything. Then we use our USB to connect our ESP8266 to the laptop. So we were able to switch it on or off from our laptop.
The camp combines industry exposure with practical life skills training, introducing the girls to career paths in STEM, from cybersecurity to digital safety and even artificial intelligence.
I learned a lot from the She Creates camp because before coming here, I was doubting whether I should study medicine or computer science. I had two fields, but coming here helped me decide that I'll pursue for my computer science career because like all my interests is what we are doing here.
We learned a lot of things like handcrafts, technology, and we even learned about web development. I never knew that I can build something so excited like that. But now, I can even build it and share some of my experience with my brothers and sisters.
Refresh the page. Now you've turned it. Oh yeah, okay. Wait, now switch on.
Some of those who once attended the camp now return as volunteers, mentoring the younger ones and sharing their own journeys.
I was one of these girls 13 years ago, and WTech actually shaped my future, basically introduced me to tech, laid that foundation for me, and it led me to the path where I had to decide to study computer science. I have my BSc and my master's in computer science, and I currently work as a senior software engineer. My journey so far was basically WTech. That foundation was built from here.
For the organizers, it's not just about technology. It's about empowering girls to imagine, build, and lead in the future of innovation.
One of the things we've done with the She Creates camp is to evolve over the years. So over the years, we look out for curriculums. What can we offer these girls that they need in this present generation, and especially with technology evolving, we had to bring in different curriculums to make sure that we empower them, well. And one of the things we've done with that is this year we had courses on web development with AI. We teach them how to use AI, for growth, and then things around filmmaking, because we know that these girls actually need these skills. And and also one of the things we want to achieve is our girls have been empowered to also empower others.
By the end of camp, These girls aren't just living with projects. They're living with a confidence that they can do anything they set their minds to, a sisterhood that will hold their hands, and the belief that they can shape the future with technology.
As we end the program, did you know that Madagascar is the world's fourth largest island, ranking just behind Greenland, New Guinea, and Borneo? Despite often being overlooked on the map, this massive island off the southeastern coast of Africa is nearly twice the size of the United Kingdom. But it's not just big, it's biologically unique. Around 90% of Madagascar's wildlife cannot be found anywhere else on Earth, earning it the nickname the eighth continent among scientists. So next time you think large and important islands, of course, think Madagascar, and do pay a visit when you can. And that's Network Africa. Thanks for watching. I'm Amarachi Ubani.